let me tell you. When are we gonna get? Yeah, when are we gonna become tired of being fooled or tricked or bamboozled, whatever? I used to do a lot of sales, and the one thing, the one thing most sales coaches and a lot of my managers and supervisors told me in sales, and something I used to tell others as a supervisor or manager is when you're doing sales, you have to find your prospect's pain point. The pain point basically is basically whatever is going to trigger a response out of them, preferably the response that you want. If I'm selling, I don't know, internet door to door, I want to find that customers or that homeowners pain point. You know, is their current provider, charging them too much? Is the current speed with their current provider too slow? I want to find their pain point. Also, I watch football, and I say when coaches, when most coaches get their game plan together for the next opponent, they're looking for a pain point. That pain point being the other team's weakness or weaknesses. Are they susceptible to, passes up the middle? You know, are they, susceptible to a deep ball, whatever? What are their weaknesses? Their weaknesses could be that that their quarterback is not great at throwing deep balls. Maybe they don't have a good run game. Maybe their offensive line is a little bit soft, so you can really be physical with them up front. There's always a pain point, and there's always a weakness. And I think the one thing that this country or the so-called leadership in this country is looking at each racial demographic and saying, okay, what is the pain point of that specific racial demographic? Now, me as a black man in America, I'm gonna speak more on on the black side of it. So, for lack of better words, the black side of it. The biggest weakness we've had in this country, one of the biggest weaknesses, maybe the biggest weakness, is slavery and racism. Now, if I want to, now this is like, it seems like common sense, but maybe it's not. If you want to, quote unquote, go to war with a particular race or divide a particular race or make a particular race succumb to your authority, you attack their weaknesses or you use their weaknesses against them. This current leadership and previous leaderships, I mean, we can go back for 100 years, to be honest with you. But the leadership in this country has done a great job. And I'm not giving them praise, but they've done a great job, a fantastic job of using the black communities or the black people's weaknesses against us. They know they could trigger a response if they use one six-letter word, racism. They know they could trigger a response if they show videos or footage of a white police officer basically beating up on a black person. They know this. They know that when they start talking about slavery, that's going to trigger a response from Black people. Definitely an emotional response. And the one thing I was always told when making decisions is you never make important decisions with your emotions. You cannot do it because your thoughts are much clearer and more sound than your emotions. That's what I've always been told. No matter how upset you are, how angry, how mad you are, no matter how happy you are, get out of that. Take a step back and step out of your emotions. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to be or it's a negative thing to be emotional. It can be, but I'm not saying okay, well, you're saying that not to be emotional. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is there's a time to be emotional and there's a time to step out of our emotions. You know what I mean? When we vote, that's a time to step out of our emotions. Even when we watch certain mainstream media outlets, we need to step out of our emotions. Even when we're on social media, we need to step out of our emotions. Basically, what I'm saying is, I'm saying all of that just to say that the government or leadership has done a tremendous job of using the emotions of the people to get what they want. Like right now, um, the hottest story right now maybe is Roe v. Wade is being possibly overturned, and supposedly uh, the Supreme Court's opinion got leaked. Now, here's the thing on that. First of all, anytime something from the Supreme Court or from the quote unquote government gets leaked, trust me, it wasn't leaked. It was put out there for a purpose, with a purpose. Like things like that don't get weak, don't get leaked. It just does not get leaked. It's put out intentionally and it's called a leak. Because I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court justices aren't just going to be up here expressing their opinion on certain things, on certain topics when they know it's time to make a decision on it. They're not going to let that out. So it was put out with a purpose. And in this situation, the Roe v. Wade, the reversal of the Roe v. Wade leak is put out to draw an emotional response from women, obviously, because women are the ones who, carry babies, right? And it's going to spark an outrage. I mean, I'm looking at an article here. It's from the Boston Globe. It says demonstrators rally at Harvard Yard to protest feared reversal of Roe v. Wade after leaked Supreme Court opinion. Mind you, it's just an opinion. They don't want to come out and say, oh, this is the fact, this is the truth. They're going to say opinion because they're trying to gauge the response or the reaction of the people. That's what they're doing. And I don't understand why we can't see that. Let me share what I'm looking at here. It's I don't understand why we can't why we haven't caught that at this point. You can see here's the Boston Globe, and as I said earlier, it says demonstrators rally at Harvard Yard to protest feared reversal of Roe v. Wade after leaked Supreme Court opinion. Cambridge. Demonstrators converged on Harvard Yard Wednesday to speak out against the feared reversal of Roe v. Wade in the wake of a leaked draft opinion from the U.S. Supreme Court that appears poised to overturn the bedrock legal precedent that's protected abortion rights in the country for decades. And you have to wonder, you know, you would think that the U.S. Supreme Court or the government would be more, what can I say, secure when it comes to things like this. But somehow it got quote unquote leaked. But they're getting what they want. What they want is more division. Two things they want. Number one, I believe, in my opinion, two things they want is more division within the country. Right now, this country is more divided on many issues more than it's ever been in the history of this country. We've already had, you know, pro-mask versus anti-mask. We have Republican versus Democrat, conservative, versus liberal. We have pro-vaccine versus anti-vaccine. We have all of that. They try to make it black versus white, or any other race versus another race. I mean, they're dividing everyone more so than what we've already been. That's all this is. It's creating more division. They're trying to create more hate between those who choose pro life and those who choose pro choice or anti life, whatever. That's what they're doing. And that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, right? Let me stop sharing. Well, actually, I'll read a little bit more of this. Ava Pelada, a freshman at Harvard and lead organizer of the rally on the steps of the historic Memorial Church, said she broke down sobbing when she heard from her mom that Roe would likely be overturned. Quote, the reason why I think I am here is because my mother and women before had access to safe abortions, and to see that in jeopardy is not something I thought I was ever going to have to endure in my lifetime, unquote, said Pallotta of Rye Brook, New York, in an interview before the rally, which hundreds attended. Hmm. And it's weird that they have this on the steps of a church, which most most true believers in Christ don't believe in abortion. It is a sin, but just like any other sin, sin is a sin regardless of which one it is. Right? It goes on to say, quote, I was sitting there bawling my eyes out on the steps of my dorm, and I thought to myself, I really hope someone organizes a rally about this, unquote, Pallotta said. Quote, I know this is a decision that's left up to 9 people. However, that doesn't mean that there still isn't a role for the community to show support for one another and just make sure everyone feels supported, unquote. On the steps of the Memorial Church on Harvard Yard, protesters gathered in the rain holding signs to rally for abortion rights, chanting, quote unquote, my body, my choice. See, when I hear someone says my body, my choice, and they're fighting for my body, my choice right now, I don't understand how you could fight for my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, but you can't fight for my body, my choice when it comes to a vaccine, when it comes to someone injecting something in your body. I don't understand that. Like, make me understand that. Because if it's my body, my choice, it should be my body, my choice, regardless of anything and everything. It should be my choice what I want to eat. It should be my choice what I want to drink. It should be my choice what medication I want to ingest or take. It should be my choice if I want to have a vaccine or not. Like, all of this should be my choice. You can't have it one way. You can't have my body, my choice on something, and not my body, my choice on something else. That's what I don't understand. I just find it very strange that they would say my body, my choice on this. And I can probably promise you a lot of those people out there who are Maybe not all, but a lot of them that were saying my body, my choice on abortion were probably saying, oh, you need to go get the jab. Doesn't make sense. It's really crazy. Um, the second thing about this particular or quote unquote leak is they want a distraction. See, midterms are coming up, and I believe they want a distraction away from what's really been going on in this country, in this world. They want us to forget about lockdowns. They want us to forget about vaccine mandates. They want us to forget about mask mandates. See, this particular midterm election, they want it to be solely based on abortion rights, because they know they're going to fool many women, especially black women. And I'm gonna get into it while I say black women more so. But they fool women into thinking, okay, well, you're taking away my right to choose. Well, hey, what they're doing actually is basically they're not really taking away your right in a sense. Then again, maybe they are. I don't know. But in my sense, it's saving lives. It's saving lives. Because to me, once a heart is beating, it's alive. I don't care if it's a human being, I don't care if it's an animal. Once a heart is beating, it is alive. So, and when I say black women specifically, the weird part about it is I don't understand why a lot of black women or black people for that matter can't see that Planned Parenthood is strategically placed in black communities. Why is that? Because they want to do away with black people. The original, I guess, queen of abortion, Margaret Sanger, Mrs. Planned Parenthood, if you do your research, you will see that she was a racist eugenicist. That's basically what she was there. She's a racist eugenicist. And this was strategically put in black communities to do away with black babies. And the statistics show that more black babies are aborted every year than any other race. Matter of fact, go all the way back to the history of Planned Parenthood. More black babies have been aborted than any other race. I mean, it has. So what should that tell you as a black person? That should tell you that they're doing away or with a lot of black people. Like, who's to say black people could very well be the majority by now if it wasn't for abortion? If you really think about it, like black people could very well be the majority by now. But there's a reason they're not letting that happen. And all these so-called black activists and black civil rights groups, if you're buying into this, it sounds to me like you're a little confused. I'm talking about BLM or any other black, so-called civil rights groups or activists. Because if you can't look at the statistics and see that more black babies are being killed than any other race, something's wrong with you. Or if you can look at that and still support some of these groups and some of these politicians that's, you know, that's in support of abortion rights, then there's a problem with you. Like that means you're a liar and you're a cheat and you really don't care about the black community at all. I don't know. And please leave your comments. If you're on YouTube, if you're seeing this on YouTube, please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this. And even though I'm talking about, mainly specifically to black people, black women, and I've spoke to different people. I've gotten opinions from all. There are people I know who've had abortions and they're against it. They're like, whoa. And they're feeling like, hey, they feel guilty. They feel guilty because they've had an abortion in the past, and they're like, they'll never let it happen again. They feel like they took a life that God didn't actually give them permission to take. I would say, for the most part, anything outside of self-defense is murder. If someone's trying to attack or kill you or your family, and you have to defend yourself, that's one thing. But if you're not defending yourself or your family and you kill someone, that's murder. Bottom line. And it really is that black and white. It really is. I can see where if you're in the military and you're defending your country, that's your job, you know, that could possibly be, okay. Because you're not just going over there killing people. If there's a reason to go over there and uh, as a member of the military and protect your country or help someone else and you kill some people in the process, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're just going over there in another country, just killing people for no reason, that's murder. Regardless where you look at it, it's murder. And it's the same thing with abortion or anything. If an animal was pregnant and somehow you was to do an abortion on that animal, and that animal, let's say a dog, and the dog is not able to have pups, well, you just kill some puppies. And obviously, it's the same thing with women. Yeah, I understand there are certain circumstances where, or what if someone got raped? Well, first of all, that is an unfortunate situation, and my heart goes out to anyone who's been raped. Anyone who's been raped. I personally know people who've been raped. It's bad, and I know that emotionally, mentally, that's something that will probably live with you for the rest of your life. But here's the thing: how do you know God's not using that situation in your life to bring you closer to Him? Because let's be honest, most things that bring us closer to God, let's be honest, are not good things. They're traumatic events in our lives that happen that bring us closer to God. It talks about rape in the Bible. There were kids that were born, from someone raping someone, and turn out to still do what God called them to do. There's an NFL player right now that his mom, I know at least one, where his mom, thought about aborting him. But now she didn't. Thank God she didn't. And now he's an NFL player. And guess what? Mom is reaping the benefits. Mom seeing her son that she raised, that she almost aborted, or thought about aborting anyway, do something that very few people in this world can do. Excuse the noise in the background there. But she get to see her son do something that very few people in the history of this world could do, and that's play NFL football, professional football at the highest level. And of course, obviously, he loves his mom, so I'm assuming she's going to reap the benefits, whether it's houses, cars, clothes, whatever, and just knowing that, hey, my son is in the NFL. See, everyone wants to have their rights, but is everyone willing to suffer not only the physical but the spiritual consequences of those rights? That's the question. Everyone wants to have rights, but are you willing to suffer the physical and spiritual consequences of those rights? Anyways, that's just what I think on that. I mean, it's really just a distraction. So I always say, when you see something like this going on, start reading the headlines and paying very close attention. And don't just read the headlines; read the entire articles. Just like when a bill is set up to be passed, don't just read the first part. Read the entire bill, because the first part may seem like, hey, it's going to work for everyone. It's great. But when you read further into the bill, you'll see, whoa, hold up. This is not right. I don't necessarily like this. This is not going to be good for everyone. It's it's just bad that most people aren't seeing this. Most people aren't seeing this. And yes, I'm especially, reaching out to the black community because we're looking at it as a race thing, but we're looking at it the wrong way. In a sense, it is a race thing, but we're looking at it the wrong way. Stop looking at it as if, oh, well, you know, we're taking away the rights of black women to have an abortion. How about look at it as if they're trying to, as they've been doing for the past, I don't know, 70, 100, 70 to 100 years, they're trying to limit the reproduction of black people. That's what they're doing. And the statistics clearly show that. So I would say stop listening to mainstream media. Stop listening to these politicians who think they know it all. They don't really care about anything. They just want to vote. Yeah, they'll say they stand this way on this, a certain way on certain things. But at the end of the day, they just want money and power. They want your vote. Most politicians probably don't care if you have no abortions or have 70 abortions. They don't care. They just want your vote. They just want to be in office. They just want to get that money, that bread. And they want to have some authority. They want to be looked up to. They want to be worshiped. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Doesn't even matter what side of the political spectrum or what side you're on. There are politicians like that on both sides, Republican and Democrat. Just saying. Anyways, please catch the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Tirade TV. Please like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube, Tirade TV. And thank you all for joining. And hey, think for yourself. Don't let mainstream media or politicians think for you. Think for yourself.